at contracting, and she works 2 days a week in the office and the rest of the days from home. But there's also, like my job, for example, I mean, I'm in the office rarely. Now, I'm not home all the time. I'm traveling, but you know, I do have flexibility in that, you know, it's very flexible where I'm working from. But hopefully it's better.
Do you want to take the Boeing one? Or?
Oh, sorry.
I know at Boeing there are some part-time available, but one of the things that they're really pushing for is the flex time and virtual time. And that is basically being able to set up your schedule that best works for you, and also being able to work from home. You know, so there's some programs, the technology is there now to be able to do that. I know in the area I'm responsible for, 20% of our people are virtual, working from home. And it's good two ways, the flexibility it gives you as the worker, and then Boeing also gets a tax break from Washington or whatever state that they're in for telecommuting, because they save on the congestion and traffic and all of that. So there may not be a part-time, but there is flex time in some virtual that could be worked.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Wister, and I work for the state of Washington. I've only worked for the state for 3 years, so I know that I've seen a lot of policies and so on that have been developed and refined recently about telecommuting and whatnot. The agency that I work for is headquartered, you know, in Olympia with the rest of government, but our trade office team is in Seattle. So I know that arrangements can be made, but I think to give you a more global answer, because I raised a child who's now graduating from college, it really is a matter of establishing yourself in your job so that you're a known value, and then working from that strength to negotiate an arrangement that's mutually agreeable to you and the employer. So I think as you go forward in life, whatever job you have and whoever you work for, it's one of the criteria that you should apply as you evaluate a potential job opportunity for yourself. Is this an environment that has that kind of flexibility, or am I just going to develop the skills here that I will then take to another environment that might prove to be more flexible? I think even in companies, say smaller companies who don't have much experience with this, once you establish yourself and you're a player that they know and want and value and don't want to lose, then you find a win-win. And that's a negotiation that I had once with a nonprofit organization when my daughter was in elementary school. And as director of marketing, I was actually able to reduce my hours to 3/4 time, because they knew that I would always be there to get the job done when it needed to be done. And all my life, I've always worked, you know, at odd hours when a job needed to be done. I think none of us would walk away from a job undone. That's just a certain personal pride in your work. And I think once a company knows that they can rely on that and they know the quality of your work, then you have the opportunity to negotiate. So I wouldn't discourage any woman from in the room from at least exploring those options. And if you hit a brick wall, well, that's the message, time to look for maybe a more flexible environment. So regardless of what size company you work for, I think a lot of companies who have been a little more set in their ways are looking at telecommuting and so on, because there are incentives from the commuting standpoint.
Thank you to our panelists, and thank you to all of you.